Thank you. So this is Marvi, and she has a daughter who goes to Overland Nursery who has hearing impairment.
She's profound. She has profound hearing loss, so she's
Okay.
deaf.
So we're just here talking about how special Overland is and what Marvi and her daughter would have done if Overland wasn't able to provide the service that they have.
Who knows what we would have done? I would have been quite lost because when we first had a teacher of the deaf assigned to us, she told me about Overland. So I remember visiting when I think Farah was around 4 or 5 months old.
Okay.
A long time ago.
Quite early on though.
Yeah, and then since then I knew that this is probably where she's going to go because I've seen other nurseries. She went to another one for a while, for a couple of months before Overland. And none of them have that support which Overland provides.
Can I ask, this nursery that she went to before, was it a private nursery?
Oh yeah, it was a private nursery. I was sending Farah just for a few hours of the day for basically entertainment.
Yeah.
She went for 2-3 times a week. It was a very nice nursery, but and they were very keen. But having the teacher of the deaf on site, having a speech and language therapist on site, having her, if she needs physiotherapy, the physiotherapist goes to Overland and works with her and the staff. You can't find all of that in one nursery like you do.
Yeah. So there's a team of people. Have they all been kind of working with her for quite a long time as well?
Yeah, I mean, she's known some of the staff since she was 3 months.
Oh wow.
So the transition was quite nice, easy.
Yeah.
She was quite confident. I wasn't worried about her. And because she settled in well, knowing the people beforehand, I think she developed much quicker.
Yeah.
So, in terms of sign language, in terms of confidence, in terms of trying to communicate what she wants.
Do you know what the plan is for the staff that do that kind of work at Overland?
No, I honestly don't know. She works with, there's a specialist childcare worker there who works with the children, and I don't even know what, it doesn't run without her. I don't know what her future is going to be, what's going to happen with the staff. I have really no idea. I think they also seem quite confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even they're not sure.
Yeah.
Completely.
So she started last January.
Yes, she started in January. You start after 18 months, and she turned 18 months in December.
Okay.
She started in January.
And how is her sign language coming along?
Oh, she started copying a lot of signs now. It's like suddenly the switch is on and she's trying very hard. I think in nursery because all the staff signs and with the one-on-one sessions, they focus on her communication. My sign language teacher goes on Thursdays to work with children over there, so he's also teaching sign to the staff and the kids and the parents. She's doing well.
And
maybe she can tell me what she wants sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, so now she can.
Some things like milk, food, TV.
That makes such a difference, doesn't it? I remember when my son started to be able to ask for things, and
oh yeah.
But
you're not guessing 10 options before you reaching to the one they want. So yeah.
No, it's a huge step. So you've been to see the alternative provision that the council suggests.
Yeah.
And what if you were to start with her? She's 2 now.
Yeah.
Was she 2 in January?
No, she turned 2 in June.
She turned 2. Okay, so she probably would have been 6 months, maybe. Because they're saying that they will have children start from 2.
Yeah.
And now is that the term after they turn 2, or is that from 2 years old?
I'm not too sure, but most likely the term after 2. Because I mean, if she turns 2 in June, they would probably take her in September in any case.
Yeah.
But I feel like what everyone needs to realize is with children, especially with special needs, the earlier the intervention,
Absolutely.
the better it is.
Yeah.
Because I've read up quite a bit on this, I've spoken to a lot of people, and we all know that children's brain elasticity kind of becomes less and less elastic as they grow older. And what she's seeing at 18 months, she will probably pick up much quicker than she does at 2 or later on. And you want them to integrate in society as soon as possible.
Yeah.
The later your early intervention starts, the later they'll integrate. And it's probably job. It's excluding them from the society. Why do that?
And the other children at Overland, do they learn sign language as well? Even the ones that don't?
I think right now they're too young. But
Okay.
what they do is the staff, when they're talking, they're also signing. So some
Yeah.
of them have picked up signs.
Yeah. And just to be in a school where there's lots of children that have her condition or something similar, and then with children of all abilities as well.
Yeah, I mean, those children, I think for them it's not odd if a child is wearing a hearing aid
Yeah.
or is using a walker to walk or things like those, because they're so accustomed to seeing all those kids around, and they find a way to play together, to communicate, to figure things out. But
Yeah.
it also helps them, I think. It's
Yeah.
not just for kids like her. I mean, the friends she has at nursery, some of the older kids try to take care of her. They're not deaf.
Yeah.
They're kids who have thankfully no special needs, but they get along just fine,
Yeah.
and they're so caring towards their other friends. So
Yeah, I think
it
it's
makes a
really good
difference.
to have that early exposure.
The earlier the exposure, the better. I mean, if they can do cochlear implant surgeries as early as 6 months on children, then why can't they provide the support early as well?
Yeah,
That's how they learn. That's how they pick up.
yeah, no, definitely. So, Children's House, great nursery school, outstanding.
Yeah.
But what have they got for you?
See, that's the thing. I feel like as a nursery, it's a very good nursery. It seems great. But when I went there, the 2-year-old's room was on the top floor, which I think is very impractical. They're planning to extend that area and, the play area. But right now, the outside place is quite small. I don't think the room is that big enough to accommodate everybody. With the extension, it might be fine. But again, it is still on the top floor of the building. And I feel like then they would be more secluded, whereas right now at Overland it's free flow at some point, so they're even interacting with the older kids, with the younger kids. You need that at some point of the day.
Yeah,
I feel like they haven't really understood the complete support that they're getting in Overland. They're talking about bits of it, like having the teacher of the deaf there, or have a speech and language therapist coming, but they don't understand that whole routine of the daily sessions that they have. The sign language teacher, the whole staff, I asked them if the staff knew sign language, and they said they didn't. They will learn the basics as soon as possible and will just have to catch up. It's not as easy as that.
yeah,
So I'm doing level 2 sign as well. So I know, my daughter needs more than just the basics now to learn more. She knows the basics, so
Yeah.
she understands it, but it's that whole progression.
your
So I feel
motivation
like-
to learn as well is going to be like,
Exactly. So I feel like they may be able to do fine, but they still haven't understood the complete picture. They need
Yeah.
to work on it more. If they had a model set up that I could see, then maybe I could have said, oh, this is fine. Or if they pick up the exact model from Overland and implement it, maybe.
yeah.
But I wasn't satisfied.
Yeah. How long do you think it would take them to get up to speed with what's offered at Overland?
To be honest, I need to know more of what they have in place to be able to comment on that. I have no idea. I met the early years head over there, and I met the head teacher. They're very nice. But I also was a bit confused because they said this is going to be additional support. So I don't know if they're not intending to be an alternative, then they probably won't match up to that level.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, if Overland were to shut, and she would have started, I guess, at the nursery school at 3. But
I need to
there's
shut
still
sooner.
there are gaps
Why
as
would
well.
I be at our Hamlets, to be honest?
There are gaps as well with the hours and
Yeah.
with like holiday provision. What would you
Oh,
would you
yeah,
been able to continue working if?
Well, I was working. At the moment, I've stopped, and I am planning to start a new job. But no, obviously, it's much harder with my
Yeah.
situation where I already need flexibility with hospital appointments, with feeding specialists and everything. If I can't expect my employers to give me flexibility with that, and with my child's holiday, and with 20 other things. So it would be a lot harder.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be able.
Yeah. So just this kind of what? So you can drop her off at what, 8 o'clock or 8:30 in the morning? Or?
For Overland?
Yeah.
Well, the earliest you can drop them off is at 8, and the latest you pick up is at 5:30. So when I was working, I used to drop her off by 8. And then I used to pick her up between 5:15, 5:30.
Yeah, so that's quite... A lot of employers will kind of accept that, and you can...
Yeah, I mean, what it did was I just had to reduce my lunch break to half an hour instead of 1 hour. But that's okay. It didn't affect my work or anything as such. And because I had worked for them for a long time, they understood that, okay, fine, nursery timings are fixed. But it was okay. I did my hours that I had to at work, so it was fine.
So I guess, with Children's House being the setup that it is a nursery school...
Well, the holidays would be a big problem.
Yeah, I mean, how easy is it to find a childcare provider, like a nanny or a summer camp or anything?
I haven't even found a nanny, or I have tried. It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's much more expensive. There's no point in me working if I have to have a nanny.
Yeah.
And even if it's about a babysitter, I need to find somebody who understands her needs and speak sign language, because my daughter's situation is more sign dependent than speech.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that they need that it would be very hard to find somebody, and probably very expensive.
Yeah. So not very practical to go send her to a nursery really that only provides that sort of care.
Yeah. It's not just about that care, it's about the working parents being able to put their children there. It's about the complete support that children with special needs get, and it's the interaction of special needs with non-special needs, but in an environment where it's very easy.
Yeah.
It's not about, now this person has to go for her session because she's deaf or because she's got autism or because of whatever reason. It's all very integrated and very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very happy. She's very happy with it.
I think that's everything really, that unless you have something that you'd like to add.
Not really. I just think people who are making the decisions should go visit.
Yes.
Should go see the support with their own eyes, not depend on reports or facts, because it's not something you can understand fully till you see it yourself.
Yeah. Do you think they're listening to the frontline staff about the situation?
I feel like the staff itself doesn't know a lot, or they sometimes get information a day after we've found out. So, how much are they listening? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to know that part. I don't think so, because if they did, they would probably have gone and seen themselves before actually making any decisions.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important. I don't know whether the people I spoke to at Children's House have actually been to Overland in the last couple of years or seen the support. I don't think they have, from what I've heard, but I didn't ask them myself.
So you said that you, if you're looking for further, you might end up moving. You visited a specialist school for deaf children, and they said they were really impressed with what Overland was offering.
It's not just them, because when I told them what Overland does, they were really impressed.
Yeah.
I asked them about nurseries nearby, and they don't know of any nursery in that area. But it's not just them. Like she has an appointment. So her audiology and everything is based in St. Thomas Hospital. A teacher of the deaf from St. Thomas Hospital went to the nursery, spoke to the staff, and they said, we haven't seen anything like this before. They were really impressed. They're quite settled and they're quite confident in Farah because she goes to Overland.
Yeah.
So I've had the staff member accompany me to 2 appointments, so that they make sure what the audiologists and what everyone else at the hospital is advising is what they're also following, and they can also give the right update that sometimes even parents don't have, because they're not in that in that room doing those sessions with the kids. So that's what I mean by complete. It's not just at the nursery, but it's everyone else also communicating with them and doing those things.
Yeah.
So everyone I know who's heard about the nursery, who's seen the nursery, who's involved with Farah, they're quite impressed by it.
And do you think there's many children on the waiting list now?
I think there are, because I've met many parents myself or spoken to them who said, oh, my child's on waiting list.
Yeah.
Has been.
And those are
Taken in.
parents that are a part of a community of people with deaf children, or just parents in general? Okay.
Deafness, autism, well, not deafness, but autism, no special needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, with the deaf kids, I know them, so that's
Yeah.
different. At least the ones that are for Overland. But these are parents who don't have deaf children.
Okay. All right. Thank
I'm
you,
pretty
Marvi.
sure. No problem.